Windows Server Part 1. We're going to set up many things to do with Windows Server and a client-server network. The first thing to figure out is it says here Control-Alt-Delete to unlock. Well, if you do Control-Alt-Delete, that goes to your local computer, not your virtual machine. So we want to go up to Input, Keyboard, and insert Control-Alt-Delete. You can click on that, or you can use Host plus Delete. The Host key is the right control key. So if you hold down the right control key, type D for delete, you can log in with your administrator account and your password 01. While this is logging in, let's make sure that we're on the right user-created NAT network. We'll go down to Network, and we are on the server NAT network. As I'm looking at my directions, I see I kind of have a mixture of IP addresses going on. Well, I'm just fixed that in the documentation. Let's go over here to local server. There's several different ways to do it. This is one way. Server Manager is kind of a central place to set up and configure things for Windows Server. Right now, our Ethernet is set up at 10.10.1.10. Hopefully you got that set up in the first one. This matches my NAT network. So I'm going to go into here just to confirm it. If this is not set properly, you will not get internet access. We go down, right click, go down to Properties. And there it is. That's my 10.0, 10.1.0 for my machine. That's the gateway. And for right now, I'm just using one of Google's DNS servers. Eventually, this server is going to be a DNS server and will replace that with 10.10.1.10. At this point, you should have access to the internet. I'm going to bring up a terminal session and ping google.com. Everything should work. If it doesn't, please contact me to figure out why yours isn't working. Yep. We're not going to use the 8.8.8 DNS for very long because the first thing we're going to do is install Active Directory. Active Directory is the part that manages the network. Now, one of the things I'm going to set that I don't remember is in anything or not, but I'm on the Pacific time zone. So I'm going to change the time zone to Mountain. That makes more sense, doesn't it? Let's see, another one I'm going to do is there's a Internet Enhanced Security. I'm going to click on that and turn that off. If you try to surf anywhere on this local computer, it will give you lots of errors. The last thing we'll do in here is rename the computer. Right now it has some weird name. Well, in my case, mine doesn't. It has the right name. That's because I renamed it and didn't realize I didn't have my recording on. So if you click on that and click Change, you want to type in Server 1. When you click OK and click OK, it's going to want to reboot. When it reboots, you should come back up to Server Manager. We have the dashboard selected. On the right-hand side, we're going to add roles and features. We're now going to install Active Directory. This can take some time. Not of you doing things, but of your server doing things. All right, we're going to click Next. This is just saying what we need to have set up, and we do have all that set up. What we don't have is a good password, but we're not in a production environment. We're always going to do everything in this class role-based or feature-based. We're not doing remote desktop services. That's a whole different kettle of fish. Here is our server at our address 10.10.1.10. That's the guy we want to work with. If you don't have the server name correct and you don't have that static IP, cancel and go back and fix those pieces up. Here, we're going to add Active Directory Domain Services. This is the database that keeps track of everything we want to manage in our network. We also want to do the DHCP server, because this is going to be our DHCP server for our network. We also want DNS. This is also going to be the DNS server for our network. Well, it's not letting me click. There it goes. Those are the things we want to turn on. These are fairly typical things to turn on for a small network that has, just a few servers. If you have bunches of servers, sometimes you might have DHCP and DNS on other devices. In our case, we're going to click Next because this is a good setting for a small to medium network. Features are already turned on. And we want to make sure that the tools are installed, like the group policy. Everything's all ready to go. We don't have to do anything else. It's starting to talk about Active Directory domain services. This helps administrators administer a network from one simple central location. We're saying, yep, we do have one static address for our DHCP server. And DNS server integration with Active Directory automatically replicates DNS data along with Active Directory service data to other servers. We're only going to have one, but quite often you want to have two. In fact, that's what's recommended by Microsoft, to have two. So now we click Next, and I don't know that it has to restart at this point, but I'm going to have it restart automatically. Click Install, and it is going to go for quite some time, depending on how fast your computer is.